It's wild how fear...
I've never said that before.
Real talk, my goal is to ask you some questions you've never been asked before. I want to take a stroll through your mind. Ready to get vulnerable? She's breaking streaming records and bringing a fresh voice to Indian pop music. With chart-topping singles and viral hits, this is Dhvani Bhanushali.
Okay, I want to start this with an observation. Is that okay?
Yes.
I've sat down with a lot of people over the years and I've noticed one thing, which is when women come and sit down next to me, we both have our hair and makeup done. Yeah. We're dressed to the nines, our clothes are steamed, we're very thinking about how to sit and I can see you're sitting a certain way, I'm practicing how to sit, I'm like, is the button unbuttoned, is it right? And not always, but often, when a man is sitting next to me, he usually just shows up.
Yeah.
He shows up, his hair is kind of like whatever, and he's like, yo, whatever. And I remember I flagged this once to one of my friends who was a man, he said, well, it's your choice. Why don't you just not do that? And I said, you don't understand, because we will get treated differently. People will view us differently. I bring this up because you are in the music industry, and music is supposed to be about sound.
Yeah.
But I think it's also not sometimes.
Yes.
Do you feel as a musician that as a woman, you do have to uphold this certain image at times that maybe male counterparts don't?
100% yes. Of course, I mean, they also have to work on their image, but I just feel like with a woman, everything needs to be a plus for her to succeed. You know, she needs to look a certain way, she needs to be a certain weight, she needs to be proper at all times and sort of stick to her vibe. I cannot just show up in like loose pants and a t-shirt and be like, oh, yo, what's up?
So what is the whole path? So for I'm guessing for male musicians, which is hard for anyone, let's just
yes,
it's hard.
Is, yeah.
But for male musicians, your voice, I'll tell you in North America what it is. If there's a male musician, it's voice, lyrics, maybe fashion a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, maybe their jewelry a little bit.
Yes.
That's kind of, I feel like, the main thing. But for a woman, what is it? What is it here for a woman, though?
It's the same for men here also.
Right.
It's just their jewelry, their clothes,
right.
Whatever. They all stick to the same vibe, I feel.
Right.
Like.
But for women in North America, I feel like it's, of course, voice, lyrics, but it's what she's wearing and why she's wearing it.
Yes. What occasion she's here for, and is she dressed correctly? What is she talking? And they'll sort of nitpick at everything she says, and is her voice right? Are her songs like correct?
Correct meaning like?
There's a lot of judgment over the kind of songs you do, like, you know, and then they'll box you into that, oh, she does sexy songs.
You said, okay, I want to point this out. I'm going to have to make a compilation. Every time I talk with someone and we say the word sexy or vagina,
everyone goes down.
Yes. Sexy songs. Sexy songs. We're talking about sexy songs, folks. Sexy songs. Why do you think when we say certain words, sexy, vagina, organ, why do you think our voices go lower?
Because our parents told us, don't say it out loud. It's as simple as that. And their parents told them, don't say it out loud. It's not a good word.
It's not a good word.
Yeah.
But what do you feel, if you were to scream one of those words right now, what is the feeling you would feel?
First of all, I'd get really scared. But then it would just be liberating because I said it.
I feel like I feel like one of the reasons I whisper it is, it's scared, but it's also, people are going to judge me and I'm going to feel ashamed.
The conditioning is such that, you know, especially women cannot say that out loud. And it's sad. Why not?
I'm trying to figure out how do we beat that.
Yeah.
It's so conditioned. I think we just have to say sexy out loud.
Sexy.
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 Lily's so sexy.
You're so sexy.
Yes, I'll take it.
So you feel like you get boxed into, if you do like a more seductive song, you get boxed into that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what, this whole item girl culture.
Can you actually explain that culture? So for anyone that may be watching, what is this item girl culture? Break it down for me.
I just feel that dancers in general are sort of then boxed into that thing that, they'll dance for, in the movies, and then the whole personality will be perceived as such. They'll start to wear those kind of clothes, and that's the box I'm talking about. Then if they try to get out of it and do something else and do like a sweet song, it's not accepted. They'll be like, oh, this is off your personality, and, and it's, I feel like it's sort of looked down upon, I feel, sometimes.
Interesting. So what you're basically saying is, and this is interesting because I feel like it's not the same as what I'm used to. You're saying here, if you make more seductive songs, you would have a hard time doing a different genre of songs.
Like, for example, I'm a sweet girl, I'm doing these songs, and suddenly if I do a little bit of a fun number, it'd be like, oh, what happened to her? You know, why is she acting out?
Right. It's almost like women can be multiple things at once.
I don't think.
You don't
in
think?
the eyes of society is what I feel.
Do you feel like, because you had a rise, you have multiple songs over 1 billion. You know, let's go, baby.
I'm glad you know it.
Oh, of course I do. What do you think? I'm just sitting down here not knowing my stuff? Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
So talk to me about that. What was that journey like? Were there certain obstacles and difficulties that you felt like, oh my God, I don't know how to navigate this, and this is really tough? Talk to me about your experience.
So this happened to me very early. I was about 21 when Vaste happened. And I didn't sort of quite understand the kind of attention I was getting because people release songs and maybe all of them are, you know, doing well. And, you know, this is just not like something that's happened to me and it's special. And I realized after a point that it was also because people around me didn't think, except my dad, that it was such a big deal. It's a big deal for a woman in India as a musician to do so well. Mm-hmm. I feel if the success is coming in, the treatment should change a little. It should get better. The opportunity should get better. And that I don't think sort of happened for me at the time. So maybe that's why I did not realize that, you know, it's such a big deal that all of this is happening to me.
Wow. That's really interesting. So you were signed to a label.
Yeah.
Vaste came out, was a massive success, and you feel like the treatment and opportunities still didn't change.
Yeah. I was still doing the same things. And of course, the process has to be the same. But I just felt like they kept me in the same place.
Wow.
And I don't think it would happen to a male musician. I mean, nothing against them, I love.
No, you don't need to put those disclaimers, it's okay.
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen to a male musician, period.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Period. See, but this is a trend I've actually also noticed. Even when I speak, sometimes I feel the need because I have this fear of like, the men are gonna be mad. We're just having an open, honest conversation. We're all adults here, it's fine. It's fine, you can take a little criticism, men. But it's interesting you say that. So how many songs now do you have over 1 billion views? You have a few.
3.
You have 3. And so Vaste happened and the next one was?
happened.
Yep.
That was quite recent.
Yeah.
And Dilbar, I would credit mostly to Neha and Nora Fatehi because, I mean, she looked really stunning on that song.
Hey, we're going to credit you too.
Yeah.
You get credit too.
I've had some parts on it.
Do you feel now, because Vaste was how long ago?
Vaste was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. So over the past 5 years, do you feel like now you're still in the same place and still get the same opportunities, or do you feel like now things have opened up?
They sort of opened up.
When do you think that happened?
But when I started thinking a certain way about myself, because I was like, no, you know, when I started saying no, when I started sort of putting myself first and, you know, when I got out of a certain situation and did things on my own. Because at the end of the day, I feel like you have to respect yourself and sort of know your own worth to sort of realize that that place where people are trying to box you because, you know, of your gender or whatever ideas they have in their head, that realization sort of kicked in, and that's why I sort of...
So this is something I like to call proof over potential.
Yeah.
CC, my TED Talk. So this is actually something I hear really often because I think there is this behavior where women have to constantly prove themselves over and over and over again. So I remember I had a similar experience to you. It's so interesting as an outsider hearing you say, I had a song over 1 billion billion with a B. That's a lot of people.
It is.
Listen to my song and like my song, and I have that much success, but still in my mind, I feel like maybe I don't deserve this, or like they're not treating me a certain way. We have this imposter syndrome. And I think it gets frustrating because in my mind, I had a similar experience when I hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And I remember everyone around me was like, 1 million subscribers. I was like, no, like it's not a big deal. I had this kind of syndrome as well. And what I've learned is that we're kind of conditioned to be that way because society teaches us that like, that's just 1 million, but like you're gonna have to prove that 100 times over again.
Exactly my point. It's just that it's never enough.
Right.
It's never like, okay, you know, so I've been told this a lot of times that one more song, you know, one more, and if that reaches, maybe you will be somewhere really big. But I'm like, but I did it already.
Mm-hmm.
and maybe people will respect you a certain way. But dude, it happened,
right?
You know?
Well, that's what I mean, because I feel like men are more viewed by their potential. He could do that. Of course he could do that. We've seen so many, but with women, it's always like, anytime we do succeed, that's the exception. Yeah. The Barbie movie did so well, but that's the exception. You had a song over 1 billion, but that's the exception. So it's like we have to prove ourselves over and over.
It was a fluke, maybe it happened.
100%, yes. Prompts me to ask the question of, what is the time that you were really, really scared on this journey? A time where you were like, this is very scary and I don't know how to deal with this.
I think when I hit my first billion, I was just incredibly scared.
Why? Hitting 1 billion is a great thing.
It's a great thing, but the next moment I was just like, they're always going to say it's not because of you. It's, you know, you just, either you lucked out or you sort of, like you don't deserve it. I just felt like that energy around at all times, and then that I had to constantly prove myself to be there. And I feel like that also does happen to men, but more so to women. They have, like you said, you constantly have to keep doing it repeatedly to sort of keep your position. And I was really scared because I didn't think, I just felt that if I sort of slipped up a little bit, maybe I wouldn't be able to, and then, you know, I'll disappoint my parents and, you know, all of those things, and I'll disappoint myself, and maybe I will not reach where I want to reach, and all those negative thoughts sort of kept, you know, coming in my head. This is such a real conversation. No. Dude, it's almost like a therapy session. I'm sorry.
I love it. This is what I do. I'll send you an invoice after. This is a therapy session for me too, because I relate to so much with what you're saying. I don't think people realize that, like, when you are in the position where you feel like you constantly have to prove yourself, accomplishments feel scary.
Yes, they do.
So even though in the moments of my life when I've accomplished something great, there's joy, and right beside that joy is immense fear.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Even like when something great happens, immediately my brain to, what are people gonna say? Are they gonna think that I'm worthy of this? Are they gonna think that I deserve this? Are they gonna think I can do this again? Are they gonna discredit the fact that I even did this? All of those thoughts I always have. And I'm sure it does happen to everyone. Like, I'm not trying to take away from the experience of men, but I can't help but feel that they feel it differently or a little less, because I don't think they're doubted as much as women are doubted. Yeah. We really do have to claw our way to a lot of accomplishments. And then once we're there, I think we have this illusion or a delusion that, oh, we're here now, everything's gonna be fine. But it's one of the worst feelings in the world to claw your way, get there, and to be like, oh, it's actually not as relieving as I thought it was going to be.
Like, I can't even sit there for a second. They'll probably like drag me down, and again I'll have to do that climb.
You kind of touched on this, but I want to dig into this a little bit.
Yes.
Some of your songs I listen to, like Dil Butter, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so sexy right now. Like, I listen to it when I'm driving somewhere to a meeting, I need to be really confident and stuff like that. Is there any song, lyric, theme, topic that you wish you could sing about that you're currently not able to? Like, as in, music is supposed to be a very liberating art form. Do you feel completely able to sing about whatever you want to sing about, or do you feel still some level of restriction?
No, I stopped doing that. I'm never going to box myself. I took that decision about one and a half years ago, when I was like, I'm just gonna go all out. I'm gonna do whatever I feel like. I'm not gonna box myself into something. And I'm also actually venturing out into acting.
Tell me about this film.
So this film is about marzi. So you need to, so for example, you were not raised in India. Okay.
I was not. Yeah. I'm familiar with the culture, but I was not raised here yet.
अगर बेटे को पूछा जाता है कि लड़की से शादी करनी है कि नहीं करनी है, और आपको ऑप्शंस दिए जाते हैं बहुत बार, बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस दिए जाते हैं, लड़कियों को नहीं पूछा जाता. बहुत सारे हाउस होल्ड्स में लड़कियों को नहीं पूछा जाता आपको किससे शादी करनी है. So it's a very small thing to say, but there have been so many instances where you don't ask the girl what she actually wants in life. And the film is about that. It's about, you need to ask her what she wants, and not just put your decisions onto her life and sort of have the whole framework decided, you know, and don't just throw her out to some guy and get her married and sort of get rid of your responsibilities. I feel like ask her what she wants. The film is about that.
I love that. Well, school me. So I wasn't born here. I wasn't raised in India. I understand the marriage part of this, but what other decisions in life are girls typically not asked about if they do or don't want to do that?
Like about their careers, I don't think, sometimes that's not even an option. I think we're privileged that, we sort of get that opportunity to decide what we want to do. But there are so many girls who are just sort of married off, as soon as they hit 20. And I've seen that so much with around me, while I was growing up, that I'd seen every time, like a girl who's like older than me in my society or the building that I stay in, she would just be married off at like 21, 22. And I'm you didn't ask her, because you hang out with those girls and you talk to each other, and, while you're 15, 16, you sort of realize that these things happen. And sort of, I was, actually, you know what? I started working also because I thought that my parents will like sort of get me married at like 21, 22.
So you did think your parents would get you married?
Maybe, because I saw that happening. Of course they wouldn't, because my parents they're really liberal. But I saw that happening around me, and that fear sort of crept into me that, maybe, you never know. What if I don't do anything by myself and they'll just marry me off to someone?
Wow, that's wild. It's wild how fear...
I've never said that before. Oh, God.
This is what, like I said, you can send me an invoice after this.
Yes, maybe.
For the therapy, you can send me an invoice. That's pretty wild, actually. I do think that when we're so surrounded by fear, even things we know are probably unlikely, like your parents getting you married. If your parents are probably not, but you still have that fear embedded because you see it around you, is one of the reasons I think that stories are so important. If you saw different stories around you, that fear probably wouldn't be there. If you saw less of that fear probably wouldn't be there. But you saw so much of the same type of story that even though it wasn't your reality, you still had the fear vicariously.
Agreed.
The fear.
Yes. Yeah. These stories create so much awareness. Like tomorrow, a girl sitting somewhere would just be like, oh, she has the same fear. She would relate. And at the same time, I feel like boys, when they watch stories like this, maybe they get scolded and they'll be like, okay, you know what? We need to take responsibility and not behave a certain way and not say certain things.
I always say stories will do one of two things. You'll either watch them and be able to relate, or you'll watch them and learn something. And either way, it's a win.
Yes.
So you're not married right now?
No.
Okay. Your parents never pressured you with marriageability, even though a lot of people have that experience. You've done 1 billion views. You've hit the numbers. We're talking about worth. So to you, how do you define your worth?
Up until some time ago, I would just be like, yeah, okay, you know what? I've had the success and maybe that's my worth. But I don't think that really is. Because I did have this one point right after where I was like extremely sad. And I was like, why? Like, everything's going great. Because I would constantly measure myself to the kind of success I've had and what I'm doing professionally. I would never really look inside and sort of see how much I've grown and the kind of person I've become. I feel like that's your worth. Your growth personally is your worth. It's not about how people see you. That's bullshit. Sorry for the word. But it's just, you have to define it for yourself. You can't rely on people, to define it for you, because they'll keep saying different things at every point. I've had conversations with people that have flipped on me in like 5 minutes. And I'm just like, I'm not going to base my whole life on their opinions. I'm going to base my life on what I think about myself. So you can decide that, whether you've had success or not. I feel like confidence is built just with self-work.
I feel like I'm going to have to send you an invoice too, because something I have learned in this conversation is I agree with you. I think worth for me also is growth in a way. It's exactly what you said. A part of worth is like, how much can I evolve? Like, how much can I grow? How much do I allow myself to be all the different parts of myself? Maybe that is worth. Did we just have a breakthrough?
Maybe.
I think we just had a breakthrough moment right now. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Has anyone ever asked you these questions before?
No. I'm seriously saying, I'm like the most honest person ever. I know a lot of people say that and they don't mean it, but I genuinely mean it. It's just that I have never opened up to someone like that.
We pump actually certain chemicals into the air.
Maybe, yes.
And it makes people open up.
Yeah, I've said a lot of things I didn't think I'd say. And now I'm scared.
Ooh, baby, if you like this conversation, you gotta check out the last one I did with the one and only Ananya Pandey because it is incredible. Make sure you subscribe for more conversations like this. And if you like this kind of deep talk, follow us on Instagram at Unicorn Island for exclusive content.